The New York City Ballet recently began its fall season. The company is made up of 90 dancers who are ranked by group, the highest being a principal dancer.
I never had a dream of being a principal dancer. I don't think I knew what that meant when I was younger. I knew of being a professional dancer. I knew of all the stars. I knew of Makarova, Baryshnikov, Susan Jaffe, Jose Carreño. I mean, I knew of all of them, but I didn't know the status of what that was or what that meant until I came to the School of American Ballet, and I started going every night to the ballet and seeing Wendy Whalen and Jennifer Ringer and knowing that that is what I wanted to do. That is what I wanted to be.
In a story which seems like it was created by a Hollywood screenwriter, Mearns was given her big break quite unexpectedly.
Peter Martins put me in the role of Odette Odile when I was 19 because somebody else was injured and they needed spots filled, and all of a sudden one day the schedule went up and my name was there by itself for Swan Lake. I had no idea what that meant. I kept asking people, what does this mean? What does this mean? And no one knew. And when I got to the rehearsal, she said, Peter wants you to learn Odette. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't know. And it was 3 weeks until the opening show. So it was kind of like cram time. I learned it, I rehearsed it in 3 weeks, and I'm on stage.
It seems like yesterday when I decided to put her in Swan Lake. I think she was in the Corps de Ballet. And I think everybody thought I was nuts, all my colleagues and so forth. And I thought, well, I'm not nuts. She can do it, and she can probably do better than anybody. And I guess I was right.
It's so interesting with ballet when suddenly you get certain dancers singled out in their teens. I wish I'd been there when Sarah Mearns was first singled out to do Swan Lake. What a great thing before the age of 20. I've known it with one or two other ballerinas to be singled out that young. But almost always that means this is going to be an important career.
When I was little, Swan Lake was my favorite ballet. It still is my favorite ballet. And I learned parts of it. I learned parts of Swan Lake when I was younger.
Swan Lake is a fairy tale. A girl, Odette, has been turned into a white swan by an evil sorcerer. The spell can only be undone if a man, pure in heart, in this case a prince, swears his undying love for her. But in Act 3, the sorcerer introduces the prince to his daughter Odile, the black swan, who tempts the prince to betray his true love. Like many dancers, Sarah Mearns started dancing when she was 3 years old, which soon became a family commitment.
My mom stopped working. She wasn't working, and my dad was working, and so she had all of her time was for me and my brother, because my brother danced as well. So everything was poured into that in the studios and the competitions, the dance tap competitions we went to, and the costumes. She made all of my costumes for all my recitals. And so it was actually a bigger commitment for her than for me in the beginning, because she had to provide everything for us, or she did. She didn't have to, but she did, which was amazing. My mom drove me an hour and a half every day to Charlotte to take class with Patty McBride. I think that was the turning point where this is something that I want to do. I didn't know the magnitude of New York City Ballet or New York or anything like that. at that time, but I knew this is something that I had to do.
As Sarah developed as a ballet dancer, she auditioned at the School of American Ballet's summer program, the first step in being enrolled as a full-time student.
Even at the summer course at SAB, there are so many talented dancers, it's kind of overwhelming. When I came to the winter term, it's a lot of pressure being at the best school in the country, but you step up to the plate in some way, because you know you got here, they took a chance on you to bring you here, the teachers, the school. So you need to up your game.
I remember her in workshop. I remember her at her last year at SAB, and I thought, this girl is going to be something. It was obvious to everyone. But what was different is that I maybe was a little more bold to throw her out there.
Go.
Balanson used to say to me, you know, people criticize me for for not nurturing dancers and to prepare them and take a little time and prepare them for the big moment. And he said, I don't believe in it at all. You put them in the water, they sink or they swim. It's the only way you find out. And you know, it's interesting. Dancers are very mature at an early age. And it's essentially, he was exactly right. You know, 16, 17, 18, that's when you're ready. You're ready. You don't have to wait till you're 24.
Even now, as a professional dancer, Sarah returns to SAB, inspiring the next generation of artists in the place where she was inspired.
When I walk through the halls, I do see them like looking at me and like, you know, whispering, and they know what I mean, it's for every principal dancer, not just me. It's when the principal dancers come back and take class, it's kind of like, oh my gosh. When I was in the school and the principal dancers came back, it was like a huge deal. We would stand in the doorway and watch like the entire class, because it was just so amazing to see them like right there in front of you, not on the stage, and them maybe not being at their finest moment because it's the morning and they're like trying to find their way. But it's very inspirational as well to see them work in the morning, just like you have to do as a student. Everybody starts out the same in the morning, and you have to go through that hour-and-a-half class and find where your body is. Yeah, it is very, very special to see that. I can speak for a lot of dancers, but I don't feel like I can take that much time off. A week goes by and I get antsy and I have to be doing something. We can't take months off. Your body at this point can't handle that. When you work so intensely and so hard, your body needs to keep going. There may come a time that something might happen to my body and I might not be able to do it ever again. So I don't want to put that stress on me, but that's how I think. When I'm on the off season, especially from New York City Ballet, when we've done our season and we have a couple weeks off, I may take a couple days off and do something, but then I'm back. When I'm on stage, I usually don't want to have to think about anything else other than the moment. I like to rehearse something almost to the point of over-rehearsing, that I don't have to think about the counts or where the note comes in the music, where I should be hitting something, or am I going to get to that side of the stage fast enough or quick enough. People make fun of me for that a lot, that I rehearse too much, or that, you know, I'm on stage from 6:30 to 7 before I have a performance that night. But it keeps me in the mode. It keeps me focused on what I'm there for, why I'm here. This is what I'm doing, and I don't have a long time to do it, so I might as well give it everything I have now. And if I fall, that means I really just went for it.